How's it grade 12? So today what we're doing is we're going on to arithmetic series. So remember, arithmetic means that we're going to be adding the same thing or subtracting the same thing. A series is just adding everything up, okay? So the formula for an arithmetic series is derived as follows. Now you don't need to know the derivation. What I do need you to know off by heart, or not off by heart because it's on the formula sheet, is this formula right over here, okay? And that'll give you the sum of a series, right? And remember, it will be given on your formula sheet. So example 1, find the sum of the first 18 terms of the arithmetic series 1720 plus 1715 plus 1710. Okay, so I'm just going to do it on the paper here. Okay, so example 1, 1720 plus 1715 plus 1710 plus, and so on. And they wanted up to 18 terms, okay? So the first thing that I need to do is I need to find the common difference. How did we get from that term to that term? Subtracted 5. From that term to that term, subtract 5. So you see we have the common difference, so it's definitely arithmetic. So what we can do now is we can use our formula, and our formula is Sn equals n over 2, 2a plus n minus 1 times d. Okay, now remember, n is your number of terms. That's the same as that n. A is your first term. N again is the number of terms, which would be 18, and d is your common difference. So I'm just going to substitute those into our variables here. So we've got S18, which means the sum of 18 terms equals 18 over 2. Our A is 1720 plus 18 minus 1, and our common difference is minus 5. You can plug that into the calculator and you get a final sum of 30,195. Okay. Then going to example 2. Find the sum of the arithmetic series of 7 terms which extends from 3 to 33. Okay. So example 2. 7 terms, and it goes from 3 to 33. That's what our series goes. Starts from there, ends up there. Now, the problem with this one is we don't know what comes after 3. So in other words, we don't know what our common difference is, okay? But what we do know is we have our first term and we have the last term of the series. We've also got n, okay, the number of terms. When you get a case like this, when you have the first and the last term and you know the number of terms, we can use another formula. And that other formula is Sn equals n over 2 a plus l, okay? Where you've seen what n is just the number of terms, likewise for this one. A again is your first term, in this case would be 3, and L is a new one. L stands for your last term, okay? So we can just substitute everything in here, and we get sum of 7 terms is equal to 7 over 2, 3 plus 33. Again, you can plug that in the calculator, and you get sum of 7 terms is equal to 126. All right. Example 3. How many terms are there in the following arithmetic series? And determine the sum of the series. So we've got 1 plus 5 plus 9 plus 13 plus so on, so on, so on, plus 61. Okay. example 3. So we've got 1 plus 5 plus 9 plus 13 plus 61. Okay, so the question is, how many terms are in this series in the first place? Once we've got the number of terms in this series, then we must actually find out what is the sum of this series. Okay, so before I go into it, I want to find out what my common difference is. So from there to there, we add 4, add 4, add 4, and so on. Okay, now in order to find out how many terms there are, I need to find my general equation for this. In other words, we're going to use this Tn is equal to a plus n minus 1 times d. And what I'll do is I'll solve for n with the 61, and that will tell me how many terms are in this series. So let's find our general equation for this thing first. So our a is 1 plus n minus 1, and our common difference is 4. Okay, grade 12, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this very quickly. So 4 times n is 4n, 4 times minus 1 is minus 4, plus 1 is minus 3. So we have our general equation for this. Now if I set Tn equal to 61, and I solve for n, that will tell me how many terms there are. So we've got here 4n minus 3 equals 61. And if we solve for n here, we get n is equal to 16. So therefore there are 16 terms here. Now I'm going to do it both ways just to show you guys you can use either formula. Why can I use the second formula? Because I know what my last term is. Okay, but if you don't remember that formula, I'll do it with the other formula. Okay, so that's the one that you learned earlier. All I'm going to do is to substitute in for all my variables. So we get sum. Now we've got 16 terms equals 16 over 2. 2 times our a is 1. And our common difference is 4. If you plug that onto the calculator, you will get the sum of 16 terms is equal to 496. Okay, so that's the one way with that formula. I'm going to show you with the other formula, n over 2 a plus l. And the reason again why I can use this one is because I have my first term, I have my last term, and I have the number of terms. Okay, so let's just substitute in. So S16 is equal to 16 over 2. Our a is 1 plus our last term is 61. Plug that into the calculator and you will see that you also get 496. So either one will give you the same answer. Okay. Example 4. Okay, so example 4 is saying how many terms of the arithmetic sequence 21, 30, 39 will sum to 1113. Okay. So we've got 21, 30, 39, so on, so on, so on. And they've told us that our sum is equal to 1113. So how many of these terms must we add up to get to this? Okay, so let's find what our common difference is. So how did we get from there to there? Plus 9, from there to there, plus 9, and so on. So our sum formula, Sn is equal to n over 2, 2a plus n minus 1 times d. Okay, so what I'm going to substitute for the Sn is I'm going to substitute for this, and then I'm going to solve for what n is, and that will tell me the number of terms that we sum. Very similar to what we did with this type of problem over here, where we solve for n, just telling us how many terms there are. Okay. Okay, so let's substitute in. So we've got here 1113 equals n over 2 2 times our A is 21 plus n minus 1. Our common difference is 9. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to simplify what's inside this bracket first. Okay, so that times that will give me 9n. That'll give me minus 9 plus 42 gives me plus 33. All right. Now, grade 12s, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get rid of this. So first of all, I'm going to multiply this up by 2, and we get 2,226 equals. Once I got rid of that 2, then I can multiply the n inside the bracket here, and we get 9n squared plus 33n. Okay. Take this 2,226 to the other side and set it equal to 0. All right, just to make our lives a little bit easier, I'm going to divide through by 3. And then you can factorize. And then solve for n. Okay, so now we need to interpret the answer. Now, first of all, just remember what we've solved for here. We solved for n, which is the number of terms. Okay, so we can't get something like a 1.2th term. Okay, you get the first, the second, the third, the fourth. All right. Also, you can't get a negative term. There's no such thing as the negative 5th position. Okay. So this one fails on 2 counts. First of all, it's negative. Second of all, it would be a decimal. Okay, so this one here is not applicable. Therefore, there are 14 terms. Okay, now grade 12s, I'm going to break this down into 2 parts. Okay, I want you to try and tackle these type of questions first, because you can see it gets a little bit more involved with the next part. So that's why I want to do it in 2 parts. So tomorrow we'll do these type of questions. So for homework, what I want you to do is I want you to do this first bit here. So it's exercise 1.5, number 1, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, and 15 for me, please. Thank you.